This right here is Nikka Whiskey from the Barrel, a small bottle, yes, but inside there's one of the biggest stories in modern whiskey. I actually first met the Nikka team at Dublin Whisky Live this year, where I had the chance to talk about their range and their craftsmanship that goes into each release. So that was definitely a fun to see them. But before we start, it's good to calibrate your tongue. So I'm going to use Suntory whiskey, Toki, just a bit to get used to the alcohol. Before we start with our Nikka and the story of the distillery. So for a good start, cheers to all of you. Japanese whiskies are always very interesting. They're different to Scotch, bourbons, or Irish whiskies. Yeah. So, ever since this bottle has held a special place in my collection, I always wanted it. So I was glad that I've met the team and they showed me Nikka from the Barrel. It is a Japanese blended whiskey. I think the ABV of it is 51.4. It has been first released in 1985, long before Japanese whiskey became a global obsession. What's special about it is not just the strength, but the balance. The whiskey is built from a wide selection of both malt and grain whiskies, drawn from Nikka's two famous distilleries, Yoichi in Hokkaido and Migakiyo in Sendai. I might be mispronouncing the names. Hopefully I'm not. Yoichi brings that smoky maritime character. Miyagiko adds the fruity, elegant sweetness. Together they create something that's both powerful and smooth at the same time. After blending, the whiskey is returned to casks to rest again. This marriage period allows the flavors to obviously come together, giving the whiskey that signature depth. It's not just mixing and bottling, it's real integration. The man behind Nikka is Masataka Taketsuru. Is often called the father of Japanese whiskey. He studied in Scotland in the early 90s, learned traditional distillation and brought that knowledge back to Japan, where he created his own version of whiskies that he learned in Scotland. And that's really an amazing story, and it shows the passion behind the spirits and the passion for the creation, and then spreading that love of whiskey into Japan. He built Nikka in 1934, first establishing Yoichi Distillery and later Miyagiko to create two distinct spirit styles for blending. That's why this bottle is so important. It's not just a blend, it's a bridge between two philosophies of whiskey making. And then there's the bottle itself, and I'll show it to you. You're going to be surprised, unless you've already seen it, then that's fine. So you can see it is different. It is square, it's very simple, it's very compact. It's meant to look like a small block of whiskey, symbolizing strength and that Japanese precision. In the UK and Europe, it's usually sold as a half a liter, and that's the bottle I have, which is slightly smaller than the 70 or 75 cl bottles found elsewhere. That smaller size actually helped it become more accessible and affordable when it launched internationally. So that's a good thing. It shows that they are willing to do something slightly different for more people to kind of learn about their whiskey, and that's great. It's the kind of bottle that looks small on the shelf, but never fails to stand out. Everyone will always ask about Nikka. When Nikka released this whiskey, they weren't chasing trends. They wanted to showcase the heart of blending skills, and clearly it worked. In 2018, Whiskey Advocate named it Whiskey of the Year, describing it as a blend of more than 100 different whiskies, perfectly balancing and that beautiful integration into just one sip of whiskey. Alright, let's pull a drum. First I need to take off the plastic. That might be fun. Give me 1 second. Ah, there you go. Finally. Alright. Let's put it so good. Oh, that's a lot. That's fine. Let me close that. I'll put that to the side. There you go. And then that's plastic. Okay. First, the nose. It's rich. It's very full. You get honey, orange peel, vanilla, baking spice. You get a bit of that waxy aroma. Nikka is known for it as well. There's a touch of oak. There's a hint of smoke, very subtle. And a wave of dried fruit sweetness. Yeah, the dried fruits, they always kind of come through. Okay, let's try it out. On the palate is very bold. It's very layered. Obviously it hits you with that stronger ABV, and that's good if you're used to it. Sorry about my dog. There's dark toffee, caramel, cinnamon, clove. Then it softens up into like a peach, apple and spice, so it gets a bit sweeter. And the higher ABV gives that structure, but there's no harshness to it. You could add a few drops of water to it to open up even more, but I think I like it the way it is. The finish is long and warming, full of cocoa, spice, oak. You even get that polished, like a waxy finish as well. It is quite dry at the end, but it leaves that gentle sweetness that invites you to take another sip. So those were the tasting notes. I would give it about 80 points out of 100. Yeah, I think 80 would be good. I'll make sure to write all my notes, and I'll share it on the blog as well, so you can check it on the website as well. So Nikka from the Barrel, 80 out of 100. Great, and I'll do the tasting and nose, and obviously more details in the blog. Every time I drink this whiskey, I'm reminded how Nikka approaches blending like an art form in a way. There's precision, but also emotions in creating the whiskey. You can tell it was designed by people who love what they do. For me, Nikka from the Barrel sits perfectly between everyday enjoyment and collectible craftsmanship. It looks beautiful on the shelf as well. It's very approachable, but it's deeply impressive as well. And if you never tried it before, this is the perfect starting point for exploring Japanese whiskies. Although it's a bit stronger, but you can try it Suntory, Toki, and maybe then go to Nikka. You never know, right? If you're watching from UK, likely you can find the smaller version. The one I have here is a bit more expensive than the other, the usual blends that you might buy. It's about 40 to 50 pounds. In US, it'll be about 60, 70, probably dollars. But it's a great whiskey. I would definitely recommend it to try it. With the Japanese whiskeys, you get so many different layers and so many different notes, and it changes with every sip. And that's the beauty of Japanese whiskeys. So here's to Nikka, to innovation that started in Scotland, thrived in Japan, and found its way around the world. If you tried this one, let me know what you think. How do you drink your Nikka from the barrel? Do you drink it neat, with a splash of water, or maybe in a cocktail? If you enjoyed this video, hit like, leave a comment, and subscribe to Whisky Clan for more stories. We're going to do more reviews, we're going to do some discoveries, we might go to events and maybe see some distilleries in UK and outside of UK as well. So all drums are welcome, as always, and cheers to you.